Hi, my name's David von Wolfersdorf. Today we're going to change the Racor primary fuel filter on a marine diesel engine. It happens to be a Ford Lehman diesel, but the type of engine or the brand of engine doesn't matter. And it also makes no difference whether you're doing it on a marine diesel or a non-marine diesel. It's the same process. It's a very easy job to do, and every boat owner should know how to do it. You never know when you might take on some bad fuel and unexpectedly have a clogged fuel filter, so it's a very easy job. We'll get started here. Okay, the first thing I'm going to show you is the parts you'll be using. Here's the fuel filter. It's a Racor, now owned by Parker. This is a 10 micron fuel filter, and you could use as a primary filter, you could use either the 10 micron or 20 micron. There's no use going any finer than that because your secondary fuel filter is 2 to 4 millimeters, and you don't want to have the same fineness in your primary filter. The filter package comes with the gasket that you'll reinstall in the lid of the filter, and it also comes with the small O-ring that goes on the T-handle. We'll show you that in a minute. Comes with some instructions right here, and the only tool you might need is a small screwdriver or a dental pick to remove the old filter. You'll also need some containers to put the old filter in, and have some rags handy. But other than that, it doesn't take any specialized tools of any sort. There is one other thing that you need to have, and that is a small supply of some clean diesel fuel, because once you've installed the new element, you'll need to top off the fuel filter bowl. So have some clean diesel fuel on hand. Okay, here's the primary filter. It's located a little short distance away from the engine, which is typical, and you can find the secondary filter located generally on your engine. So for example, this is the secondary filter on this boat engine. So we're going to first get, put some rags and something to protect against spills beneath this filter. I'll probably put this underneath there. And step one is to close the fuel petcocks from your fuel tank. So for example, right down here, I'm going to close this fuel petcock. If you've got two tanks, as I do, over here is my port tank, I'm going to close that petcock also. You want to do that so that once you take the lid off of this filter, that you don't have fuel coming out. So close your fuel petcocks before you do anything. So we'll get going here on step 2 in just a second. Okay, once you have a tray in place, then you're going to unscrew this T-handle that holds the lid on. I've already loosened it, and then you'll very carefully lift off this lid, and we'll remove the filter here. Okay, I removed the T-handle. It's got that rubber O-ring on there, which we'll replace in a few minutes. Just set this in a safe place, and then in a second here we'll lift off this lid and remove the old filter. Okay, I've lifted off the lid, and the gasket for the lid stayed on the top there, so we'll lift that off, and then we'll pull out the filter in just a second here. Okay, to lift out the old filter, there are these plastic handles, and you may need to take, as I did here, a small screwdriver to fish that handle out. It's hard to reach if you have normal sized fingers. There's another one on the opposite side, so you get those out, and then you just lift the filter right out. Okay, just grab the handles and twist it, and it will lift right out. Okay, there's the old filter. Just set it in your tray, and then we'll grab the new filter and put it in. Okay, when installing the new filter, you just look for that pipe that goes up the middle, and then you just set the new filter on that and gently twist it slowly and push it down, and that's all there is to it. Now we're going to get our clean fuel and top off the this fuel reservoir here. One more thing I'm going to suggest you do is that you, with a container beneath it, open this valve here and let some fuel run out of this bowl here, because dirt and water settle down the bottom of this bowl, and so now and then whenever you change this filter, it's not a bad idea to let some fuel run out there. So we'll do that next here. Okay, we're letting some fuel run out. I'll open it a little bit more so a little more fuel comes out, and a little more rapidly, and then just tighten it back up. Okay, I just took my clean diesel fuel and I poured it in the canister here. You can pour it down that pipe around the new filter and fill it up so that it slightly overflows. And of course you've got your tray down here, so no harm. And this way you won't have to bleed your fuel system. Okay, next step is to take your new gasket and for the lid and set it in this opening here. Make damn sure you don't twist it. That's critical. Make sure it's completely flat all the way around, or you'll have problems with leakage. So now we're going to set this on top of the fuel filter reservoir. So make sure that gasket is completely flat all the way around. Okay, next thing we're going to do is remove the old O-ring on the T-handle. Just take a dental pick or some fine screwdriver, or just roll it off by hand. Just get it off and then install the new one. Okay, I just installed the new one, and now we're going to install it in the lid. So just set it in position. Make sure you don't cross the threads, and then snug it down. Very simple. Don't go berserk tightening it, just tighten it snugly. And then wipe up. You've got be some fuel dripping. Just go ahead and wipe that up. You're virtually done here. Okay, after you've wiped things down, then don't forget to reopen your fuel petcocks, both sides. And what you should do now is start your engine, make sure that it runs fine, because it's possible you got some air in there, but because of the way we poured clean fuel in the bowl here, you shouldn't have any problem. You should not have to bleed the fuel system. So I'm going to start this engine here and make sure that it starts and runs just fine. As I said, should be no problem because we poured that clean fuel in there, essentially priming the fuel system. So that's it. Easy job, as you can see, and enjoy your diesel engine and your boating. Okay, I just started the engine. It started up just fine, and that's I'm sure what you'll experience also. If for any reason it doesn't, then you need to bleed the fuel system, and we won't be covering that today because I don't need to do it. So good luck, and enjoy your diesel engine and your boating. Goodbye. One last thing I forgot to mention about priming the fuel filter is that you can often avoid pouring in the fresh fuel like I did if you simply, before you put the lid on, if you simply open your fuel petcocks. If your fuel tanks are full enough, then the fuel will fill the filter gizmo, and then you can, once it's filled and slightly overflowing, then you can put the lid on and screw it down, and you can avoid having to pour the fuel in like we did. But that's it. Thanks much. Goodbye.